Good. Hey, July, start of training camp. It always struck me. It's the hottest, worst time of the year to be doing these things. You can't stand in line outside without just perspiring. And yet for football players, it's...
And if you look at what the NFL teams have done recently, they go to a lot of shells. So they don't go full pads a lot, just uppers. We call it uppers, shoulder pads, helmets.
But what's the positive thing? What do you take out of it that makes you excited about going through this grind in July?
I think part of the problem is that, when you're on your own in the off season, it's difficult to have that level of intensity of competition. It's really, really hard. Sure, we all train on our own in the off season, but once you get between the sidelines and there's a commonality and a camaraderie between players and teammates, I think you elevate to a different level, and it gets you into a different level of understanding, as well as you get in shape quicker. You're forced to get in shape. And those that didn't do anything in the off season, they're weeded out early. It's very obvious if you didn't work.
How do you feel about it? It's sort of like New Year's to us.
It is, but there's now so many more mini camps and times that the team is together. And I think this is the 20th year of Bill's camp here at Fisher, and it's even changed during that period of time from what they used to do. But you go back to the Fredonia days when the team was working out, especially even when they were really good, the players were coming back to camp to get in shape. The off-season was a time guys put on some weight. They weren't around that much. They had like one mini camp, and they had 5-6 weeks sometimes or 5 weeks, I guess, to get in shape. Different world now. These guys come into camp. They are ready to go. They better be ready to go. Or as certain players could get away with it a little bit, but they better be pretty high up, and everybody is on them in that point too.
In addition to all of that, if you take it way back, they were playing 6 preseason games.
6 preseason games. And let's be honest, you can go back to that period of time. Guys had off-season jobs. Now, some of the guys who aren't full-time NFL players yet and trying to make it, of course, they've done other stuff. But at this point, they're doing it that way. They played those 6 preseason games. They worked so hard to do that and ramp themselves up to the regular season. Honestly, these teams come in now, they play a preseason game within 10 days, and they're kind of much more ready to go than they were years ago.
It's kind of cool. Puts you on the field with the players for, the time they're at St. John Fisher.
Sure, well, but that's the most brutal part. You're talking about the heat and the sweat and like how, it was fun for you and enjoy it. The break room broadcast life and training camp at WCMF, it's brutal in that tent. Like, I'm exhausted sitting and talking when the sun hits that tent, and then standing on the sidelines, I'm just sucking down Gatorades, trying to replenish electrolytes. I have no idea how a human body can endure practices like that in the heat against other world-class athletes. I would not have that ability.
I'm just wondering, it's kind of 3-on-1 here. If you're different because you played the game all the way through to the NFL level. Is that what just separates you?
Pat, you used to have a lot of fat on your body. Okay? So replacing electrolytes was kind of really important for you.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So my point being is that, when you get to that level, you've done it in college, you've done doubles and triple sessions in high school and in college. When you get to the NFL, if you're not prepared and you're not in shape when you step on the field, unlike the 70s and the 80s, when you use the entire preseason to get in shape and all the preseason games to get sharp. So you don't have that luxury now. There's too much money involved. There's too much competition. There's too many teams now that are in the upper power rankings. I mean, that's the idea, is to get up in the power rankings. So I completely agree that this is where your manhood shows and your paycheck you get rewarded for a large paycheck.